and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so delighted to have you. I was watching a video of an impala, the animal. It was beautifully jumping and hopping, and I got so curious about it. So I learned a few things about it. The animal can jump over 10 feet high. That's really high. Imagine jumping double my height. I'm not very tall, but double me is really high. Yet, this beautiful creature can be kept and enclosed in 3-foot tall wall in an animal zoo. And it's not going to jump out. Why? Because it needs to see where its feet will land before it jumps. So a lot of us are like this animal. We're not going to jump if we can't see where our feet will land. So without faith and vision, you cannot jump. You're trapped with so much potential, but you can't jump because you can't see. So today, my topic is see it before you have it. So if you can't see where you want to be, you won't take the steps necessary towards it, right? So kama ujioni ukimake, hawezi make. I know that for sure. So seeing precedes making it. So, I asked one of my sisters, how did you learn how to drive? And she told me how she mentally rehearsed. She would drive in her mind through the streets, and then the next day she took the key and drove. It is no coincidence that she drove safely. Why? Because she didn't imagine herself having accidents. She didn't imagine being anxious. She imagined being a safe driver. She used her mind to see possibilities. So your mind is a viewfinder. If you can form a strong mental picture of where you want to be, your brain will find ways to get you there. So mental rehearsal is also used by world-class athletes. Take Michael Phelps, for instance, who is the most decorated Olympian. 28 medals. He talks about how he would mentally rehearse, seeing himself winning his swimming races, not just one race, but winning races. How did he do it? He used his mind 2 hours every day for months before Olympics. He'd see himself overcoming obstacles. He practiced all potential scenarios possible in his mind. It is no coincidence he won all those medals. He saw it before he had it. He wasn't practicing while saying, oh my goodness, who does it make? No, he had so much faith, and he backed it by actions. He used his mental vision to close the gap between where he was and where he wanted to be. So if you can see yourself doing it, your brain will find ways to get you there. If you act the way you want to be, soon you will be the way you act. That's what faith is, calling forth those things as though they are. If this can work for others, it's going to work for you if you believe it. So I hope this builds your faith. So let me tell you about someone who you might recognize, who visualized her dreams. His dreams. He had a dream of becoming a talk show host. What did he do? He said, I put a picture on my TV set as I watched a popular TV host. He was visualizing himself being a TV host. So he said, I started telling all my friends I wanted to be a TV host, and they'd ask me, oh my goodness, when do you want to be? And I'd say, I don't know, but if you know someone who let me, just let me know. Eventually, that dream became a reality. I'm talking about Steve Harvey, who's hosted many TV shows. So he saw it before he became it. So your mind has a magnetic power. So my ask today is that you put some intention in your vision and some energy to support it, and your words to support your vision, and your actions, and you will have it. So why do we need to see it first? Because your vision is going to set a standard for you. If you have a thermostat in your home, for those who live in countries that require this, your heating system for winter and air conditioning for those hot summers, that little thermostat has several functions. There is a standard which you set to your desired temperature. So if you want your home to be 70 degrees, you set it to 70 degrees. If you want it really warm and toasty, 80 degrees will work, right? That's really hot, but it's going to work, right? So another function is the thermometer, which tells you the exact temperature at that moment, kind of like maneno kwa ground vileiko, right? So when the AC system sees the discrepancy between the actual and the desired temperature, it activates change by either decreasing or increasing or decreasing the temperature to meet the standard that you've set. So I think that's how things work when we set a vision. You see what you don't have, but because there is a standard, your vision causes you to change something, to correct the discrepancy between the actual and the desired. What you see can cause you to change behavior. It can cause you to choose friends. It can cause you to move places just to maintain the standard that you've set. So begin seeing things. Shaquille O'Neal in an interview said that he always wanted to own a fancy Mercedes-Benz. So he went to a gas station and got a toy Mercedes. And he said, I would drive it on top of my bed and tell myself, one day I'm going to get one of these. He said, once I knew I got that money, I went to the Mercedes dealership and paid cash for it. He saw it before he had it. Magic Johnson, he said, I grew up poor, but I did not have poor dreams. So he said, I used to see black businessmen in my hometown and I wanted to be like them. So he approached one of them and told him, hey, I want to be like you. Would you give me a job and mentor me? He was 16 years old at that time. So they offered him a job to clean their offices. They had like a seven-floor office building. So he said, I would clean all the 6 floors. But the 7th floor, he said, where the CEO's office was. So he said, I would bust into the 7th floor and I'd pretend I was the CEO. And I'll put my feet up on the desk, and for hours I'd hit an intercom button and call a pretend assistant and pretend I'm ordering coffee from her. Is it a coincidence that he's a very successful businessman today? God knows how many assistants he has today, right? The role playing turned out to be a reality. Why? Because he saw it before he became it. What do you need to see? For some of you, you might want to change what you're saying and start speaking your dreams into existence. Start setting a standard. Your mind does exactly, specifically, what it thinks you want it to do. It always does. God made it that way to support you. What it thinks is the best interest for you, your mind does. So be intentional about your imaginations because your mind is hardwired to support you. It moves towards pleasure and away from pain. We survive by avoiding pain. So make the things that you want to happen fun and enjoyable. Embrace them. Don't fight success. And don't talk ill of success. If you do, your mind is going to avoid it. Your mind is always listening. It is. Your mind is always going to gravitate towards the things that you embrace. The pictures you make in your head through your thoughts and words, your mind is keeping data. And it's going to move you to the direction of what is comfortable and familiar. So if you want to succeed at any level, you make what is unfamiliar, familiar, and make what is uncomfortable, comfortable, so that your mind can embrace it and find a way for you. That's what Michael Phelps did. He was practicing in his mind the hard things. He was rehearsing difficult things to make it familiar. So see it before you have it. So I want to close with this quote that I heard. A man without a vision is a man without a future. And a man without a future will always return to his past. And I don't want that to be you. So thank you so much for joining me today. If this video spoke to you and it was a blessing to you, please share it with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can notify you every time I post a new video. God bless you. Until next time.